Hey, what's up, guys? You're on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Let's get right to another show I have for you guys today. It is currently Recap Monday on Season 5, Episode number 24 on the Fire Sports Pod. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. Let's get right into the show I have for you guys. So, guys, we have a lot to get to on this Recap Monday. We had a lot of injuries. We had some guys coming back from injuries. We have some MLB news. There's a lot of stuff we got to get to. So bear with me. We have some stuff. But first up, we're going to go with some news that involves a quarterback, and that's my Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott. So he has suffered a hamstring injury. He will be out multiple weeks on end until he gets back. So, like I said, guys, I didn't expect a lot from the Cowboys this year. Just how we didn't do anything in the offseason. Free agency, it was just bad. We got one guy, and it was Eric Kendricks, which wasn't bad pickup. So-called per Jerry, we should be getters at the trade deadline. I don't see if like we are. Dak's now hurt. CeeDee Lamb got an MRI today. Micah Parsons is still hurt. Bland is still hurt. Trayvon Diggs is a little bit questionable every week. We just have a lot of injuries, guys, and we're just not getting healthier. We're getting worse. So I think that the Cowboys should just do in. Even though we're only 3-5, there's still a chance. We're not like it's the Jets, where the Jets we've been fighting since down 2-6. But we're right around the corner. If we lose next week, we'll be 3-6. So it kind of hit the panic button now for the Cowboys. I think we have the Eagles next. I think it was on Sunday Night Football next week. It's going to be a tough one. I'm realistically think the Eagles are going to beat us. I'm going to say it now. I'm always a believer. I always will believe in my Cowboys, no matter who's the quarterback and what we're going with. But I got to be realistic. Got to give my bets. I'm going to take the Eagles with that win. Just gotta do it for the people. Maybe reverse psychology. I picked the Eagles and the Cowboys shocked the world and beat them. But I'm thinking not. Maybe I'll change my mind on Sunday. We'll see. But now knowing Dak is going to be out for a while, it's really not looking good for anything, either the Cowboys itself or their fans. So I really just think that it's just going to be a bad case of the next couple weeks, because we just have no. It's not like Cooper Rush is a bad quarterback, but he's not that quarterback. I mean, we could give Trey Lance a shot. I think he'll be better in that situation. I like Cooper Rush, of course. I think Cooper Rush can win games. But I think Trey Lance is younger, faster, but probably would want to go with the veteran quarterback just so we can get good enough throws out there. Remember, Trey Lance is not used to playing in with the starters. So I would definitely say that it's going to be a long rest of the season for my Cowboys and our fellow Cowboy fans. But never lose hope. Something could happen, but right now it is not looking good. So that was my little snippet about my Cowboys. We got to get to some Yankee talk. And on top of that, this spring result should force Dallas to alter its approach at the trade deadline. So now with Dak's injury, we might not be doing anything at the trade deadline, which sucks, but it is what it is. Now, sticking with the NFL, we would have to go with star running back Christian McCaffrey, out since the preseason, returning to practice and is on track to play Sunday against the Buccaneers. So the 49ers are getting their running back this Sunday coming up. That is huge for the 49ers, monstrous. So 49ers have been missing their ground attack, their X factor, and Christian McCaffrey is that. Let's see if he's still healthy and fully healthy and ready to roll. But it's great to see for just the NFL in general to have Christian McCaffrey back. He is the best quarterback in the NFL by far, and having tendonitis in both Achilles, never heard that before. So definitely sucks. But he'll be back. So NFL better watch out. The 49ers are still there as contenders. now that he's coming back. We had some firing as the Raiders fire their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsky, following Sunday's blowout loss to the Bengals. I thought the Raiders didn't play bad. I think they actually gave Bengals a little run for their money, and then the Bengals just closed them out and did what they were supposed to do. So they fired them. They'll be looking for something. The Raiders are just a mess. They're in rebuild mode. But they're really, really bad. And then as we move to some more news, we would go to we would have to go to the firing of Saints head coach. So today, Saints fire head coach Dennis Allen after Sunday's defeat at the Panthers, extending losing streak to 7 games. So the Saints, they started 2-0. They blew out the Panthers. They blew out my Cowboys, and then they have lost 7 straight. They are 2-7. I don't know what type of collapse. I said it from the beginning. I said even after they blew out my Cowboys, I said the Saints were frauds, and they came out to be frauds. I mean, you can't trust a team with a coach in Dennis Allen, who really hasn't coached that much. And then on top of that, Derek Carr, who's washed and old and should be retiring because he's not good. Even Michael Thomas was throwing shade at the Saints in their offense and Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr made history in the wrong way on Sunday. I mean, that should just tell you that this guy's got to be out of there. But yeah, guys, I mean, the NFL has been rigged with injuries, rigged with movement of coaches, a lot of question marks with coaches, including Mike McCarthy. There's been just a lot of noise throughout this NFL season, a lot more than it's been in the past. I mean, the injuries speak for themselves. I mean, there's at least an injury with every team, multiple injuries at such. But I don't know, guys. I just think that it's kind of ridiculous. Now we're getting with the injuries. It's just day in, week out, day in, day out, hour out. There's always an injury. I mean, I don't think I've gone through a week of doing podcasting, TikToks, or anything without there being an injury in the NFL, and then a significant one, to a top tier talent. And I think that's the problem here. And if we don't figure this out on why there have been so many injuries, maybe people stop watching. I don't think people will stop watching football because football's so great, but I think definitely people will stop to understand that their favorite players or their top tier guys just keep getting hurt. I mean, how many top tier guys this year, defense and offense, were getting hurt? And from fielding injuries, like just running non-contact. There's been so many non-contact injuries this year, which is absurd. And like I said in other podcasts, I'm saying it's the field, guys. We got to fix the goddamn fields. It's got to be all grass. Stop with this turf shit. I know it looks nice. I know it's easy to maintain. But goddamn, guys, get off your lazy asses and let's get some grass fields, because when there's 75% of the injuries have been non-contact injuries, and they've been on turf fields. It's a rarity that we have any injuries on grass fields. And I've explained this in the past, where it's just the movement. You move faster. Your joints move faster. Everything moves faster on turf than you do on grass, which comes in account to a lot more injuries. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the football talk when it comes to the injuries, some movements, and other crap. I would also have to say, guys, going back to the Cowboys and such, I think this year was kind of just the year to see if we can run it back again with the same team. And the fact now that we can't, and it's looking like we're not going to, with Dak being down, Mike McCarthy playing like shit, CeeDee Lamb on top of that, getting injured a little bit. Everyone's just going down the tubes, and I think it's just a sign that Mike McCarthy's got to go, and we got to get a whole rebuild when it comes to our offense and defense. Mike Zimmer he's a horrible defensive coordinator. I think he's horrible. He lost his touch. He's definitely not the same guy from when he was with Minnesota when they were winning, and they were one of the best defenses in the NFL. Definitely not that same guy. He's getting torched every week, it seems. Running, throwing, it really don't fucking matter. He's just getting absolutely torched. At least the Giants aren't better. That's the only positive. I mean, the Washington Commanders and Eagles are just dominating. But at least the Giants aren't better, so I don't have to hear the Giants fans be talking a lot of crap because they're worse than us. And if you're worse than us, you're really bad because we're really bad. So I would say that the Giants fans got to shut up and not talk to me because your team is worse. Way worse. But other than that, guys, we would have to go to some more news when it comes to the NFL. One more. And it looks like Isaiah Pacheco, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, is coming back. He's eyeing late November to return after fracturing his fibula early in the season. So that's crazy. He's fractured his fibula and he's coming back late November. So he'll be back on the home stretch to hopefully the Super Bowl run for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are looking really good. They're playing right now against the Buccaneers, where they are down 17-10. But Kansas City's in the third quarter with minute 58 got the ball on Tampa's 42. Kansas City looks to improve to 8-0 on the season. And Tampa Bay looks to give Kansas City their first loss of the season. Kansas City just got to Tampa's 20-yard line. So we'll see if that's going to come about. But I got Kansas City winning this game. But yeah, guys, I think there's been a lot to talk about when it comes to the NFL. But after that, I think if they get Pacheco back, the Chiefs, and if they make some moves at the trade deadline, the Chiefs are just going to be wonders, man. I think they're still the best team. I would say the Lions are the best team overall. But I think the Chiefs, just with their experience and everything, they're number one. I would go with Lions number 2, Ravens number 3, Buffalo number 4. I probably have to put San Fran in there with Christian McCaffrey coming back at 5. And then at 6, I don't want to say Philly, but it's between Philly and the Commanders, man. I think both those teams are really good. Now we're going to jump, guys, from an NFL segment type game. We're going to go to some MLB. We're going to talk some Yanks. Aaron Boone might not be just the problem in New York. It might be a load of things. But for me personally, guys, I think Boone is a big problem. His decision-making sucks. His substitutions suck. His motivation sucks. His press conferences are horrible. He's not worse than Mike McCarthy, but goddamn, he's close. I really don't like Boone. I never liked him from the beginning. We've always come up short. Came up short again. It's got to be something. I mean, the decision-making to put Nestor Cortez in the World Series of Game 1 after he hasn't pitched in 30 days. Like, come on, dude. How dumb can you be? And then on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the icing on the cake where this man decides, yeah, let's go and let's put Nestor Cortez in. Then let's put Tommy Kahnle in Game 6 when you have Weaver that didn't pitch that much earlier, or you had other guys to put in there instead of Kahnle to close it out. And I like Kahnle, but not in that situation, dude. We got to put somebody else that's going to get the job done. Kahnle loads the bases. And we lose Game 6. His decision-making sucks. And then in Game 1, or I think it was Game 1 and Game 2, where he walked. It was Game 1. He walked. He decides to walk Betts. Leaves Freeman up to face Nestor Cortez. Like, what are you doing, man? Freeman's a home run hitter. They know he's going for the seats. Betts is more of like a guy that's going to hit the ball on the ground, not only just hit home runs. Freeman used to be that, but with his bum leg, he was swinging for the fences or a deep route. Like, come on, guys. With 2 outs, we got to know better than that. We got the man, the machine out, Ohtani. I just don't like his decision making, man. And it's just not the playoffs. There's numerous times during the season where we've lost games because either he takes out a pitcher too late or he takes out a pitcher too early. He puts in a Dumbo in that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, or substitutions with sitting guys and not sitting guys and putting the lineups together. I think he just sucks. I'm going to blatantly say it on my podcast. I think he just sucks. So, yes, he might not just be the root of the problem, but he is a big problem that we have in New York. And we got to get that fixed. So, I think he goes. Good news. Luke Weaver was restructured. And we picked up his option. So, he's going to be coming back with the Yankees. Anthony Rizzo, sadly, will not. He's just inconsistent, very hurt. Wasn't really a threat in the World Series. Didn't really help us, so we're not bringing him back. Had a feeling. Cole, during the weekend, originally opted out of his contract with the Yankees, but then the Yankees ace Garrett Cole today agrees to stay in New York for 4 years, $144 million he had remaining on an original deal. So that's great. That's big. We keep our ace and Garrett Cole ready to roll. I remember the days where he was with Houston and he destroyed us. Now he's with us, and he's staying with us. So I'm happy that happens. Now, here is the big news that we have to get to. Before we end our show with some college football rankings, we have to get to the Yankees and their offer for Juan Soto and really the big offers throughout the thing. Now, Major League Baseball's offseason cleared one of its first and most important deadlines at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, as teams were required to have tendered qualifying offers to their desired impending free agents. The players who received the qualifying offer hereby QO will now have until 4 p.m. Eastern on November 19th to accept or reject what amounts to a one-year pack worth $21.05 million. That's the average of league's top 125 salaries in the history of the QO, which was implemented in 2012. And only 13 of the 131 players have accepted it. Before we get to the rules, here's the complete list of players tendered for the QO on Monday. Juan Soto, Corbin Burns. We got a couple other names. Let me just put because I don't know these guys off the top of my head. Corbin Burns of the Baltimore Orioles, Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros, Mac Fried of the Atlanta Braves, Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, Anthony Santander of the Baltimore Orioles, Nick Martinez of the Cincinnati Reds, Tescasco Hernandez of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks, Nick Pivetta of the Red Sox, Sean Mejia of the Mets, Luis Severino of the Mets. The players who reject the Q will continue in free agency. So, received less than $50 million sharing. Oh, wait. So, there's a lot to this. So, not every player is allowed to be tendered to the QO, though, who change teams in season or ineligible. The rules out like of Blake Snell, Nathan Eovaldi, and Jack Flaherty, among notable names. So, in general, guys, I think so 13 players right now have been tagged with the $21.05 million offer, including Max Fried, Tescasco Hernandez, and more. So these guys are pending free agents, depending if they accept, reject, or work around their contracts right now. Like, obviously, we all know Juan Soto is going to get the bag. I don't know from who. Talked about on the podcast on Friday where he might be heading. I'm going to say it's either between, like I said on Friday, Mets, Dodgers, or Yanks. I would say the Yanks probably going to offer him close to like 8 to 10 years worth over 400, 500 million. And I think the Dodgers and Mets are going to just go above and beyond. Let's hope he likes what he was with the Yankees and he stays and comes home for less. My thinking is he's not, so we're fucked. I think if we lose Juan Soto, the Yankees are screwed. We were really bad with Judge in a slump. Thank God we had Soto. Stanton played amazing. I was saying in the beginning of the year to get rid of him at the end of the year. We definitely got to keep him. He was fantastic in the playoffs. He was our MVP without a doubt. Without Stanton, we don't win as many games. We're not where we are in the World Series. Without Stanton, we're not pushing for a Game 6 without Stanton. There's a lot of things without Stanton we don't do. So I would have to say that Stanton was a big part in where we were at, and we got to keep him. I think he was awesome. But on the contrary, we got to go into some of college football rankings because we had we had a lot of upsets and we had a lot of changes. So I would have to say Oregon stays up at the number 1 spot. I don't think anybody thought otherwise at 9-0. Ohio State, my Buckeyes, in beating Penn State, they jump up to number 2 at 7-1. Georgia is at 3 at 7-1. Miami is at 4 at 9-0. Indiana is at 5 at 9-0. Texas is 7-1 at 6. Penn State drops from the number 3 spot to the number 7 spot at 7-1. BYU is 8-0 at 8. Notre Dame is 9 at 7-1. Number 10 is Tennessee at 7-1. Number 11 is SMU at 8-1. Boise State is number 12 at 7-1. Number 13 is Alabama at 6-2. Number 14 is Iowa State at 7-1. Number 15 is Texas A&M at 7-2. Number 16 is LSU at 6-2. Number 17 is Ole Miss at 7-2. Number 18 is Army at 8-0. Number 19 is Pitt at 7-1. Number 20 is Kansas State at 7-2. Number 21 is Clemson at 6-2. Number 22 is Colorado at 6-2. Number 23 is Washington State at 7-1. Number 24 is Louisville at 6-3. Number 25 is South Carolina at 5-3. So, guys, those are the top 25 rankings and the newest rankings after this weekend's games. Like I said, the Ohio State had a big monster win against Penn State in Penn State, winning 20-13. But nonetheless, guys, we jump up from the 4 spot to the number 2 spot with the win over Penn State. Like I said, Ohio State just really needs to just stay on course, not lose another game, and we'll be either 1 or 2 by the end of the season, depending on what happens with Oregon. Oregon's going to be tough, man. We should have beat them. We should be number 1 right now. Oregon's really tough, but we'll see what happens in the near future. I want to see Ohio State-Oregon national championship. That would be pretty cool. Hopefully 2 of the best teams in the league, record-wise and just truthful-wise, and then they dug it out in the college football playoffs. I think that would be pretty cool. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for my show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zack Jackson. Catch you guys on Wednesday for Season 5, Episode number 25 on the Fire Sports Pod. Again, guys, we're powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. I will catch you guys on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Monday night, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.